to you. I'm a serial killer.
Well, I do have a Facebook page, which I actually never go on, but somebody monitors it for me. And when people contact me on it, I get back to them.
Okay, great. Harold Schechter, haroldschechter.com. Thank you so much, my friend.
Okay, thank you.
Good night. Okay, then we had Harold Schechter from the website haroldschechter.com. Serial killers, cannibals, all kind of interesting stuff that the Opera Report just loves to talk about. Let's take a little commercial break here. We'll be right back after these messages. And now a word from our sponsors. Pacific West Bamboo, your premier source for sustainable building material. They provide construction-grade and craft-grade bamboo material for all your indoor, outdoor, and gardening needs. Contact them for event planning and display building as well. 503-839-8126. Or you go to their new website, pacificwestbamboo.com. Or you can contact them on Facebook at Pacific West Bamboo. That's 503-839-8126. Amanda from Pacific West Bamboo was our first sponsor. She's been so good to us, so please support her in return. I want to make everybody aware of our new members section at www.oppermanreport.com. You can go there and sign up for a monthly, quarterly, or yearly subscription. You can even purchase episodes one by one. You get full access to brand new original content, new guests, new uncensored interviews, my own investigations and reports, and we're going to be adding sections with documents, images, police reports, either provided by myself or by my guests, or for my own investigations, my own reports. So you can go to oppermanreport.com and you can sign up there tonight. You can start listening tonight. Strawman. I want to mention Strawman. Strawman is a band out of Toronto, Canada. They're good friends of the Opperman Report. They're a trio of guys who share the same mindset most of us here do, and they put that energy into their words and music. So check them out at strawmanmusic.com and drop them a line to let them know that you heard them here on the Opperman Report. We'll be doing an interview with Sean Duffy soon. You can get an autographed copy of my book, How to Succeed as a Private Investigator, by visiting my PI website, emailrevealer.com. We also offer a computer and cell phone forensics. We can recover deleted text messages to uncover infidelity. We offer asset searches, locates, email tracing, background reports, and we can even trace your spouse's email address back to internet dating websites to catch them cheating online. You can reach us at 800-572-9762, or you can email me at emailrevealer@aol.com. New World Mexican Women. Everyone loves the New World Mexican Women, and their line of fine, handcrafted, authentic Mexican jewelry of stone mosaic and abalone stone inlay. In their first book, titled New World Mexican Women, available on lulu.com, they teach you how to make this jewelry, and they have a collection of love letters to their men from their hometown that have immigrated to the United States to find work. They have also published a new book entitled Azuquina to the Rodeo. It's about a young girl that falls in love with a rodeo bull rider, and she runs away with him without telling her family. You can find the New World Mexican Women by Googling New World Mexican Women. And you can ask them about their deals on wholesaling their fine jewelry and all of the other projects that they have going on. If you'd like to have your business or website advertised here and promoted all over the world on dozens of stations every day, give us a call at 800-572-9762 or email oppermanreport@gmail.com. And now back to our show. Well, not so soon. First, we're going to talk about MichiganMushrooms.net. They offer the highest quality chaga chunks available anywhere, picked fresh from healthy live trees in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, sun-dried and quickly shipped to you. They're very proud of their long-standing reputation as trusted farmers and collectors of wild, gourmet, and medicinal mushrooms. Customer service and offering high-quality products is very important to them. And they have a strict grading system that begins in the woods, and they would rather pass up a chunk that looks bad instead of passing it off to you, the customer. Additionally, they are recognized by the state of Michigan as mushroom experts. They are certified by the Department of Agriculture to sell 20 different species of mushrooms, and proof of this certification is available upon request. That is MichiganMushrooms.net or on Facebook, Michigan Mushrooms LLC. Got a brand new sponsor, The Rodeo of Doom by Miguel La Sala. The year is 2384, and Henry Fields is a down-on-his-luck adjunct professor in the architecture department at Andreas Tangen University in Los Angeles. But he has one thing going for him that others don't. He has enough of the coveted EP14 to live to be 200, if he wants to. Not that hard. When he saves a woman for certain death with a few drops of the EP14, a corrupt government agency tries to blackmail him into selling off his supply. Just when it seems like it might be a good idea, all hell breaks loose. The Rodeo of Doom was written by Miguel La Sala and edited by Margaret A. Harrell, the author of Keep This Quiet, memoir series. Now, she was also the copy-edited Hunter S. Thompson's breakthrough book, Hell's Angels. According to Harrell, the Rodeo of Doom will grip you and pull you into the wild ride of a different reality. This is a consciously fast-paced journey into the future. Author Miguel La Sala reveals his craft by intricately weaving in fine details for his reader and keeps you anxiously anticipating what will happen next. Do not wait to read this book. There will surely be more to come from this author. The Rodeo of Doom is available on Amazon.com, and there's a link to the Rodeo of Doom in the Opperman Report bookstore. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. I want to remind everybody, too, that we have this new GoFundMe account. We just started GoFundMe /Opperman Report. We're trying to get some new digital audio equipment and some video equipment that we can use for on-the-scene location interviews and stuff like that. So we're joined again by Niko House, who is the president of the North Carolina College Students for Bernie. Is that it, Niko?
Yeah. President of North Carolina College Students for Bernie, and also Carolina Students for Bernie Sanders at UNC.
Okay, so Niko was just on the show Monday. We taped about an hour with him because he had some breaking news, and we wanted to get that on the air right away. So we just threw it up on Spreaker and iHeart and up on YouTube, and it's got a great response. I got a lot of contact from it. People are very interested in his information. So Niko, give us a real quick update on who is Niko House, and then a recap of what we talked about last week.
Just a quick review of who I am. I'm like I said, I'm the president of North Carolina College Students for Bernie Sanders, and I'm also the president of Carolina Students for Bernie Sanders at UNC. Before going to school, I wasn't listed in the military. I was a paralegal in the United States Army for a military intelligence brigade / cavalry squadron. Battlefield. It was called a 525 Battlefield Surveillance Brigade at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. Amongst my duties, we had to do things like draft charges. We had to review things for Article 32 hearings, obviously type up Article 15s, advise commanders, make sure nobody's doing anything illegal. We would also be the ones who picked out what to charge certain people with based off of the information we would get from sworn statements and just eyewitness reports and things like that. But as far as for the Bernie Sanders campaign, I joined recently, not recently, this past summer. And over the last almost year or so now, I noticed a few things that were kind of looking suspicious. And then I had a couple things within the last 3 weeks kind of confirm my suspicions. And so I made a video outing it and just explaining what I thought was going on. And then people immediately responded to me with names. People from other states started saying they were seeing the same things. And so we probed a little bit deeper and found out a lot of vital information that could essentially affect the outcome of this election.
And basically that was that in North Carolina, the campaign manager that was hired by Bernie Sanders has a history.
She wasn't actually hired by Bernie. Bernie actually is not involved in the process of hiring the state directors.
Oh, wait a second. Okay, so this woman we're talking about, Aisha Dew.
Yes.
Okay, she never actually worked for the Bernie campaign.
She did work for the Bernie campaign, but she's not in the. So there are people who are hired to hire state directors. And I actually have information on that as well. We got an update on who exactly hired her.
Okay, well then give us an idea now that you're saying. But she was the campaign manager for the Bernie campaign.
For the state, yes, she was the director for the state of North Carolina for the Bernie campaign. Yes.
Okay, and you're saying that they're not hired by the Bernie campaign. Who hires them?
No, they're hired by the Bernie campaign, but not Bernie Sanders himself. He actually has no knowledge of the state directors who are hired underneath him because, for obvious reasons, the process is a little bit tedious for somebody running for presidency. And so he has people hired to do that. However, what happened was I was called from a number from Albany, Georgia, and it turned out to be somebody he's the deputy field director of Bernie Sanders' campaign. His name was Chris Smith. And he tried to convince me to essentially drop the story with Aisha. Now, mind you, I'm almost 100% positive he had no idea that we had already closed in on a lot of the issues in the other states because so many people had gotten focused on the Aisha situation because her dedication to the Hillary campaign was blatantly obvious according to the pictures that everybody has seen up until this point. So he's trying to convince me to drop the story. But whenever I initially asked him, okay, so what exactly qualified her for being, the state director of the campaign? Because obviously I said who vetted her, and he said he did. I was like, okay, so you knew that she bankrupted the Mecklenburg Party. You knew that she's actually not qualified to run a state campaign. And you also knew that she had at no point supported Bernie Sanders before this situation happened. I mean, was just I won't even say avidly against Bernie Sanders, but she's never supported progressive candidates. She's always actively worked against them. And so he kept pitching me, the fact that she was African-American and that who else was African-American and qualified to run the state. And I told him promptly that he had 40 applicants.
Yeah, that's what, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was over. I was like, don't insult my intelligence, please. And so then he proceeded to try to insult my intelligence, telling me I don't know anything about politics and that I'm just misinformed and I don't understand how these things work. But I know exactly how they work because he failed to realize that I'm not an idiot. He told me who he worked for in North Carolina, which was Chris Wray. Chris Wray is a very progressive candidate. He received zero money from the DNC in North Carolina, which means that there's no way that you could have been connected to Aisha through Chris Wray because Aisha doesn't work with progressive candidates. She only works with establishment candidates. So then the question then remains, who the hell hired you or who put you in contact with Aisha? And how did you come down to North Carolina as a recruiter for Chris Wray's progressive campaign and leave as a deputy field director for a national presidential campaign?
Okay. Just to update people, and by the way, there's a couple of YouTube videos up on the Ed Opperman YouTube channel with Niko House that describe the whole situation and to fill in the blanks from the last show. You might want to take a look at that. But now, who is this guy again who called you up from...
He's a deputy field director for Bernie Sanders' campaign. He's I say he's pretty young. He's a younger guy, African-American male. He kind of proceeded to tell me that I don't know whose careers I'm ruining and I'm threatening, certain people's political, like their livelihood because this is their career. And I was like, well, that's not my issue because if this was their career, they would be more careful with what they're doing. Now, mind you, he proceeded to tell me, well, I don't know what opportunities I might need in the future and that I don't want to sever any opportunities that may be created for me by doing this stuff. And so I proceeded to tell him, you have absolutely no idea what I want to do. I didn't think I would be doing this in the last week, but hell, here we are spending my spring break trying to, bring down these people. So then...
what's funny, man, is in our last conversation, I asked you, hey, has anybody contacted you and offered you anything or threatened you?
Yeah, actually, it was very soon after that. It was in that same day. It was that same day that this person contacted me, ironically.
Yeah, well, I wonder what came of that. Okay.
So here was the interesting thing.
Yeah.
He did not get clearance through Bernie Sanders or any of the upper level staff to call me, which if anybody's worked on a campaign, you know that field organizers do not deal with press issues. He does not reach out. You don't reach out without permission from anyone, especially the press secretary, to call and try to solve press issues. That's not his lane. That's not his job. If it was harming the campaign, then the press secretary would have reached out to me. That's what they're there for, correct? So also, if he was reaching out with keeping all of our conversation on file and making sure it's documented, he would have reached out to me from the 802 number or a Vermont number that the campaign gives everyone who is at that level so that they can keep up with the conversations that they have. However, he did not do that. Not only did he not do that, but when I asked him who hired him, because he was telling me that I can trust him, I was like, okay, well, tell me who hired you. He refused to answer that